Hi, I'm back on YouTube, am I? Oh, it has been a while. I understand that. It's been about 2 years since I got back on my channel. I just been busy and, I don't want to explain myself to y'all. Life happened, essentially. But I'm back. I'm gonna do a YouTube video for y'all. So today, I felt as though I need to do a little bit of an artsy thing, just like a follow-up to my old video where I was showing y'all a bunch of my old drawings and characters and all that stuff like that. But I want y'all to see me redraw old pictures that I've done into new ones, essentially. And I just want to just do this to see how much I've improved over the years, really. Maybe I haven't improved. Maybe I still draw horribly. Who knows? Redrawing. So y'all might be wondering where I'm getting my old drawings from. And it's going to be coming from this big folder filled with all my drawings. All of them in there from middle school to 10th grade, right? Now these have labels and all that stuff, and I had to put them in this big folder because this is not the oldest one I have. The oldest one I had got stolen because middle schoolers suck. They really do. They'll steal drawings, apparently. Valueless ones. But I've had this for such a long time. It has been here with me. It has went through the struggle with me. Alright? And it has been through the struggle of dealing with this. Abominations of artwork that I have kept and hoarded for over the years. So let's get right to it, shall we? So, as I said before, this is a very old folder that I used to have for a very, very long time, So, I went through the folder already, and I've decided that I wanted to pick some of these, So, this one, I remember being inspired by a magazine. Don't ask me questions. Don't ask me questions. I was a moody teen. I still am. This was supposed to be a self-portrait that I made of myself. You can tell that I am big weeaboo. Big weeaboo. And this one I just did because I got inspired by another anime picture. I know, right? I'm so funny. I'm so otaku anime girl. Right? And I feel as though out of all of these right now, I feel as though this one is suffering the most. This one is suffering the most. I can't speak today. And I just want to help it, Give it a little pizzazz to it, So the first thing I noticed about this picture is that the eyes are too big, the lips are unsymmetrical, and everything is just kind of weird because the proportions aren't right, She has such a big head, but the shoulders are the same height, and a mess, I will say. A big old mess it is. So the first thing I'm gonna do is draw sketches of how I'm gonna change it. So the first thing I just want to mention, which is the obvious, please excuse my hair. I know it's in the way of the tripod sometimes, because this is the first time I've used this tripod in general. And, I lean forward when I draw because it just helps me, the more precision with my lines and stuff like that and my sketches. But, yeah, I apologize that sometimes my hair is blocking the view. And I hope it doesn't, hinder the experience and anything like that. Yeah. But anyways, with the sketches, I wanted to play around with the hair mostly. because I really don't like how the weird bangs and sideburns of the original character when I first drew it. It looks messy and it's ugly as well because of the combination of the curly, classy sideburns and then these horrible cut bangs. It would look good if it was on like a separate character, on like, you know, like one part of the bangs could be on another character like that, but them together, it just creates like a really, really weird combination. And I just wanted to fix that first. Another thing I wanted to work on was the expression of the character, because the original position was kind of awkward and the dead inside expression of the character didn't help it at all either. Like, it was just not cute at all. It was uncanny and it was just very weird altogether, and the weird big eyes just exemplified it even more. So I also worked on to like shrink the eyes and make them more normal looking in a way. So I just wanted to fix that first with with the character. And one thing I try to do with like the expression as well to match with the pose, because I still wanted it to be like a redraw and have something similar to the original character, you know, with the hands in the hair. So I just gave her more of a confused look, like she's scratching her head. Don't ask me why she's confused about, like what she's confused about. Don't ask me. I'm just the artist, not the actual character. But yeah, another thing I really wanted to work on was the bow placement, because I decided that I don't like the bow to be skewed on one side. So I try to drag it a little bit more to the middle in the center of the head so it could give more of a, you know, a symmetrical shape to it, even though the picture is going to be asymmetrical. But I think with these changes, the character would look so much more cuter and so much more alive and animated in a way than its previous uncanny, very stiff looking self before. So that's what I'm gonna do. So for the main picture, I was trying to like lower down where the head is, which is why I put the circle and then I erased it immediately. Because I feel as though in the first picture, the biggest issue that I had was that I put the head way too up and I made it too big to try to fill up the space in the picture. And it took away attention from other details I wanted to focus on, like the hair especially. Because that was like, I believe, the main intention when I was drawing that picture, to show her colorful, vibrant hair. So the first thing I tried to do was lower where the head was going to be. And another issue that may have occurred when I was drawing the picture originally was, since the head was so big and in the center, I didn't have space to put the arm up in the hair, because, you know, the head was too big and it was taking up too much space already. So that is one thing I really wanted to do, which is to shrink where the head was, shrink the head and place it lower so everything could sort of have more room to fill up the space instead of me just boop, bobblehead in the middle of the page. Another thing that I changed as well was, instead of having all those strands of curls on the sides of her head, I just turned those into just like, I guess, Betty Boop curls. Like, you know, they're like side and they're still like in one piece and all together, instead of just having them like as strands, you know? So that was another change that I did. And then I also added, you know, the different bangs as I said I would. Yeah. For other artists out there who are like struggling with bangs, what I do personally is that instead of drawing each like spike in every single like part in the hair of the bangs, what I do is that I just draw like lines going upwards towards to the center of your head where the hair grows out, and I keep doing this until I get to one part to the other side of where how large I want the bang to be. So instead of me, you know, wasting my time and drawing like zigzag, 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 I could just draw the lines, 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 and lines, and then connect them all at the end, which will be much faster and create more of a fluid look, in my opinion, instead of it being very like, you know, zigzaggedy raggedy. I also do this for, curly hair as well, because it just helps me create like a shape for the head. Instead of me, very meticulously drawing each little zigzag and all that stuff like that, I like to draw the general shape and then connect them all together into one. And this is what I'm doing for this drawing as well, with like the top part of her head and her hair, so that I could create like a very like wavy, bubbly effects. This is just how I like to do it. You could do it every way you want, but this is just like a little tip for some of y'all if y'all needed a tip on how to draw curly hair or bangs. One major difference I wanted to change in the original and the one I'm making right now is the clothes that she's wearing. I don't like the top that she was wearing. It just didn't like fit the vibe that I was going for with her. So instead, I wanted her to have like a more geeky look, I guess, like more like nerdy, like the turtleneck with the plaid dress. But I don't know how to like draw plaid, so instead I just made it like one solid color. And I just thought it would look much cuter on her because it's like a upward it's like an upward hairdo, and then she has like this nice casual outfit instead of that heart top. Now I'm connecting everything with the line work. Honestly, me doing the line work, that's like my favorite part that I love to do. I love doing the line art for every single picture I do, because that's like when everything sort of comes together. It's not like in a rough state. You could also see how I am connecting all the rough shape that I was doing before with the random lines in the line work, especially with the top part of her hair and her bangs, just to create the shape I wanted, as I was saying before. As you can see as well is that I'm adding different line variants. There's some areas that are thinner, some areas that are thicker, and I think that would just add a little bit more dimension to the character. Is that the word? I don't know, but like I think that it would help the character, especially the final product, a lot. You could see some of this line variant in the original piece as well, but it's a little messy. There's like lines randomly in the hair, and I know that's supposed to like signify that there was like extra bumps over there. Bumps, ew. Like there's like an extra poof of the hair over there, And I didn't really like that because it just kind of looks like random lines in the hair, and I just wanted it to look like one whole thing in this piece. Very nice, because it'll be easier for me when I color it in as well, since it won't like scratch off like the line art. Sometimes that happens because I press down too hard because I'm heavy handed, and also I want that pigment, and I just don't want none of that to happen with when I colored it in with if I added those extra lines in the hair. Although I did add it to the base of where the headscarf and the hair is, that is because I try to like add, that it's actually coming like out in the way of the headband. With the liner as well, you can see me add like little extra details, like I would fill in the pupils, I'll add a little lashes to the girl, I would add extra wrinkles and extra like lines to signify that there's poof or a wrinkle there. I do that a lot because when I'm doing this sketch, I don't want to add too many lines because sometimes the fine liner doesn't go over the pencil well. So I just make sure that I add it when I do the line art. For the liner as well, I probably add like shading to it as a little bit, like around like the neck area. I mainly do it, or maybe like underneath the bangs. I don't know, but that's what I do a lot as well when I do my line art. Now, the coloring, I want to remain somewhat true to the original colors, especially with the hair. Although I may like color in specific other areas, like the bangs, a little bit more differently than I did than the older drawing. So, yeah, for the original colors, I used blue and pink, but I wanted to add purple to sort of be like a blending color for in between, so that it just won't be like pink and then blue, because sometimes I suck at blending. But I wanted to create somewhat of an illusion of that it's fading into this pink to a blue. And I also will use a deeper color of pink and blue for the drawing, just to add shading for the pink when it's on the headband and the blue when it's on top. And I also will add a purple shading to the bow and the purple dress that she's wearing. For the turtleneck, I didn't really have any like good grays that I could use for white. So instead of using a color pencil, I just use a regular graphite lead pencil to shade it in. For the first layer that I'm coloring in, I want to make sure I am coloring in curves when I lay down the pencil. And this will like create like a visual for me in my head for when I color it in even more later on, that I want it to be very pointy in a way. Is pointy a word? But I wanted to create like a very bouncy, curvy look for the hair. For the skin color, I didn't want like this very like ashy dark brown. It's a beautiful skin color, but I just wanted it to be more like a warm tone instead of what it was before. So instead of using, a very dark grayish brown, I used the Arteza Sienna brown instead. I was going to use the garnet brown, but it was too reddish in tone. So I just used sienna because it was very warm. It was more, a very natural looking skin color, instead of a very reddish, brownish, garnet. Now I'm adding like the finishing touches. What I do is I go over with the fine liner again and try to deepen some areas. Go over some areas that might have been covered with the coloring pencils. And I also use a white gel pen to highlight the lips and maybe try to highlight some other areas. This was also like a first time thing. I never used a white gel pen before, and this is my first time. I only use it for the lips really, instead of like me trying to do with the hair and all that stuff. But that's alright. I think it looks nice either way. So after the highlights, I am done with the drawing in general. Just gonna add my signature and compare to what it was before and now. And that is the end of me drawing this picture. Just ignore that. So, this is my final product of redrawing this old picture. Oh my god. I honestly like this one more clearly. I just like how it looks more stylized, Some places I did mess up on, like the shading around here, and maybe the blending could have been better up here. But overall, like, this is kind of cute. It's kind of cute. But just seeing how much I'm just, like, grown as an artist between me being, like, 14 years old and, thinking I was so great at drawing, and then me drawing it now, it's just very enlightening in how much I've grown and improved as a person, But yeah. This is the video. If y'all want me to see English, if y'all want to see me draw one of these pictures or just like a new one of these, like, I guess it's going to be a series, comment down below, like and subscribe to the video to show your support. I take criticism. But if y'all want to see me draw another one of these videos, please just like and subscribe and comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this. Like, it really means a lot to me if you did, because I'm a nervous wreck. I'm a nervous wreck. And it just makes me feel so much better when people show their support, because it makes me feel more comfortable, you know? But I'll see you in the next video.